Hey there, it's Anonymous T, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending good energy, sending blessings to each and every single one of you. Today we are reacting to Chris Rock's, selective outrage, comedy show that he did on Netflix Saturday night along the lines of Saturday Night Live's, original programming, having, panelists, his best friends, David Spade and Dana Carvey at the after show, having appearances from Leslie Jones and JB Smooth and Arsenio Hall and everything else. There was like a pre-show that I really didn't care about. The after show was kind of funny, but let's actually get to the meat and potatoes, which was the actual comedy special itself, and it was kind of just so-so for me. Now, if you are a white conservative, you are all over it. You are praising it. You are saying that this is A++++, because Chris Rock went in on black people. Chris Rock went in on all of the people that you agree with him on, right? So this was completely tailor-made for you, right? And you don't like Meghan Markle, so this was tailor-made for you guys, right? But here's the issue, right? Here's the thing, right? Those of you who are pro-choice are not happy with Chris Rock today because you have some issues with some of the abortion jokes that he made, and that he did not effectively do the research on how many states actually have banned abortions, you guys, and what actually is happening as we are talking current state of what people can and cannot do, right? And also, the biggest elephant in the room is where this venue was and what this special really was about that he really didn't get to till the last 10 minutes of the special, right? You could have done the special, I don't know, in your hometown of Brooklyn, New York. You could have done this in Philly, where, Will Smith is West Philadelphia, born and raised, and the playground is where he spent most of his days. Or even LA. Right? Even LA. Where does Chris Rock choose? Why does he choose Baltimore, Maryland? Guess who is from Baltimore, Maryland? Jada Pinkett Smith, you guys. That is why I cannot take the last 10 minutes of his comedy show seriously, you guys. He has a right to defend himself. He has a right to speak out against Will Smith and how he felt about the slap and everything else. But here is his selective outrage, right? He is more upset with Jada Pinkett Smith than he is the actual person who slapped him, Will Smith, right? So I can't take his selective outrage seriously either, right? You have some type of beef and you lied to your audience, right? Because this beef with Jada did not just start at the previous Oscars where you fumbled your joke, which I was cracking up about. You fumbled your own joke about the emancipation and concussion joke during this special, which I thought was hilarious. But that's not where the beef started. You and Jada have having some type of beef since the 90s, at least, right? I don't know if you asked her out on a date and she rejected you. I don't know if she ever gave you some inkling that you guys would ever be more than friends or something, and then she just ends up with Will Smith. I don't know what happened, but it is giving somebody who got rejected, and they are going to make Jada Pinkett Smith pay for it for the rest of her life, because these jokes about Jada did not just start at 2 Oscars events like Chris Rock wants to have you think, right? He is not innocent in all of this, right? And the fact that he even said to keep Jada's name out of his mouth, right? To keep her name out of your mouth, and you're going after her, you're going harder at her than you're going at Will Smith, tells me everything I need to know that this isn't even about Will Smith. You're up here talking about in your comedy show how you admire Will Smith, how you, the first time you saw him in concert, and how athletic he is, and how good looking he is, and blah, 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 blah. That's not somebody who has it out for Will Smith, who, is really pissed off at, Will Smith, wants him to fail. I did enjoy throughout the show where he's making references to different rappers, such as Kanye, such as Jay-Z, such as Snoop Dogg, but then flipping it around and saying, okay, this isn't, me trying to come for you. I don't want another rapper mad at me. I like that. I felt he should have kept going with that, right? Because when he kept going in other directions, I was like, okay, well, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this Kardashians joke, right? Where are we going with this Meghan Markle stuff, right? Is she the new Jada Pinkett Smith for you, right? Is she the new black woman that you are going to be attacking, right? And I did not like the Michael Jackson joke, the Michael Jackson R. Kelly joke, because I felt it was not fair. I felt it was inappropriate because Michael Jackson did not molest those kids. Those families, those accusers have came out time and time again, said that they were after Michael Jackson's money because he was the richest man in the world at the time. And, you know, they wanted to be a part of the takedown of a black man, you guys. But the difference is there's actual receipts and plenty of people who can corroborate that things are not right with R. Kelly. And the reason why some of you were still blasting R. Kelly was because you like Ignition. Like, can we just keep it a buck for what it is? You like Ignition and you don't care who knows about it, right? So you knew deep down something was wrong with R. Kelly, but you felt that Ignition was a masterpiece, so you still are gonna bop it, right? Even now while he is in prison and continuing to get sentenced for more crimes, you guys. Even as we speak, right? So please do not give me, again, the quote, selective outrage. But then, Chris Rock, I ask of you, you tell this amazing story about how your mother was not allowed to go to a dentist unless the dentist was black, and if the dentist was not black, that she was sent to a veterinarian to get her teeth pulled, and, you know, basically saying this isn't like, you know, Harriet Tubman, you know, type of racism, this is like recent racism, but then you allow your white comedian friends all to comfortably say the N-word in front of you, and you laugh and chuckle along, and it has to be freaking Jerry Seinfeld that has to come in and intervene and say this is inappropriate. So where's your selective outrage about that, right? And you're up here talking about, you know, how you're not going to fight back in front of white people, but you have no problem making disparaging comments about black people and doing colorism jokes in front of white people and all of the things, right? And all of these things that you're basically, you know, trying to make it look like, oh, I did the right thing by not doing anything. No, that was a corporate move, Chris Rock. That was a corporate move. You were standing there, one, because you're right, because you knew that Will Smith was bigger than you, and you probably were going to lose, but also you were thinking of your check, your paycheck specifically. But the issue that I had was when you tried to say in this particular special that you were concussed and all of these things, where were the paramedics? Why weren't you taken to an urgent care or hospital if, you know, Will Smith really slapped you into a concussion? Like, are we serious right now? Are we serious right now? Seriously? Seriously? Like, is this what we're doing? Right? So it's things such as that. I mean, I guess the stuff about his daughters was touching or whatever, but it's like, it's not the Chris Rock of old. It's not the Chris Rock I'm used to. So I really didn't laugh that much during the special, even by the time he got to Will Smith, because by the time he got to the Will Smith stuff, I didn't care. Because I was kind of like, all right. And again, he really didn't go on Will Smith compared to what he went in with Jada, right? And now the PR team is working for Will Smith, right? Now this is going to be spun back into Will Smith's favor, right? Because basically you repeatedly call him the B word as it pertains to, now I will agree with you that the red table talk is a mistake altogether, right? But it's specifically a mistake if Jada Pinkett Smith was doing the red table talk to get back at Will Smith and any indiscretions that took place in their marriage, even though Will Smith told Gayle King there was no cheating. Nonetheless, I think Jada was thinking, oh, Will Smith's so beloved, I can use this show to get people to turn on him, and it actually made people hate her instead, right? Because, like Chris Rock says, who gets interviewed by the person that cheated on them, right? Who does that, right? Who gets interviewed by the person that cheated on them? In what America, right? And only Jada Pinkett Smith's world, right? And admitting that she cheated, and admitting that it was an entanglement, and admitting that she basically got involved with her son's friend. Like, it's inappropriate. It's disgusting, right? So I am with Chris Rock there. What I am not on Chris Rock with is the just continued slander against Jada, because it's giving that you were expecting something to happen with Jada that never materialized, right? And it's also giving that Chris Rock seems still unhappy, right? It seems that he still needs to be with his ex-wife, because he seems pretty miserable, if you ask me, right? I did like the joke about comparing the 25-year-old woman to the more mature woman over the age of 30 who has her own house, who pays her own bills, who would want a man to help out, as such as the roof, such as different home repairs and things of that nature. Yes, right? I'm totally on board with that joke, right? But you know, it seems like Chris Rock is still lonely, right? Even after all the abortions he's paying for, and even after all of the women he's hooking up with and everything else, even after getting a divorce and giving wife half his earnings and everything else, he's still unhappy, you guys. He's still unhappy because it is not what is all cracked up to be, right? Single life is not what it's cracked up all to be, but married life is not cracked up what it's all to be either if you're not in a happy marriage. So there's that. But nonetheless, it does seem that Chris Rock's kids are doing well, and I did see Spike Lee and his wife that were in the audience as well. And so it seems as though, you know, there's still a lot of support. I think the comics are always going to support Chris Rock first and foremost, but do not sleep on Will Smith and his PR team. Will Smith is filming Bad Boys 4. Will Smith has already been transparent that he's reached out multiple times to apologize to Chris Rock, and Chris Rock has ignored him. So this will be very interesting, right? Because the PR is already at work. The PR is already like, listen, we have tried multiple times to contact Chris Rock, and it's so I don't know if in the future specials, if Chris Rock is going to continue to talk about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith as well, or if this is a one-off and he's going to continue to actually do some comedy, because I didn't really feel this was much of comedy. You know, from my perspective, this isn't the Chris Rock that I'm used to, not the Chris Rock that is going to have you like on the floor for like a good portion of the show, right? This was not that. This was like a so-so kind of like, it's going to give you enough buzz to get people talking. It is going to give the conservative media press like a complete like onslaught of, you know, of all of the things, right? And then it's funny because now some people are like, well, I see why Will Smith slapped him. like just no remorse, right? But I do agree. The biggest point I do agree with Chris Rock is on this selective outrage, on this woke culture, on what people pick and choose to be upset about. But it also kind of is a moot point when the hypocrite himself, when the king of selective outrage is also calling out somebody else about selective outrage. And it's like, well, wait a minute, can you look in the mirror, right? But yes, again, everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to complain about everything. Nobody wants to work anymore. Everybody wants to wait till you screw up a job and then try to come in. And everyone wants to pick and choose, you know, who they want to hold accountable for that make the same mistake, right? So there is that. So if you guys have not already, please subscribe to my second channel, Anonymous T Podcast. We have some really good videos uploading today. About the lack of diversity higher since the George Floyd death. Did they just run a scam on America, you guys, to try to look woke, right? Again, another fake outrage. So I will pin that in the comments, and it's always, of course, in the description box as well. So we've got some good content over there. We talk true crime. We talk about current events. We talk about issues that are going to be affecting the Black community and beyond, and how we can get ahead of certain things, and how we can you know, continue to level up and everything else, and continue to prosper in this current climate, you guys. A little bit of sprinkle of, you know, some sports talk in there here and there, because we're about 18 games or so away from the NBA playoffs, so eventually we'll start to get into more sports talk in there. But there's like a lot of good stuff that is over in that channel, so please subscribe if you have not already. To my subscribers, thank you so much for rocking with me, you guys. This all runs because of you. This is all because of you. We've got some cool announcements coming up the end of this month, so please stay tuned for that. I'm excited to share with you. To any new subscribers, anybody new who is seeing my channel for the first time, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please check out my old content as you guys make your way around the lay of the land, and do not hesitate to give any feedback, to give any comments, to send any emails, to give any DMs. I check them, so please, and I do respond. It may not be in a timely manner, but I do respond. I promise that. So there is that. So If you have not already, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.